Hey there, knitters! Welcome back to my channel. Today is my first pattern review. It is called the Leafy Baby Blanket from a pattern that I found on Ravelry, and we're going to go over my experiences and honest thoughts knitting this pattern. I'm going to go walk you through it. It's free, what type of yarn I used, how much it cost, where I got the yarn, and I will give you my honest thoughts. So let's head over to the pattern. All right, so here is the Leafy Baby Blanket pattern by Laila Alieva from Ravelry. The yarn weight is held together to sport weight yarns to equal a final weight of worsted. The average difficulty is relatively low, which I definitely have to agree with. It's very beginner friendly, and it is published in several languages. The pattern was also written using an eco cotton yarn, which I did not use. But this is a free pattern, so we can definitely look at it together and go over it in some detail. So you click on this link, which will bring you to the Silk and Wool website. I haven't knit anything else by this particular designer. And as you can see, it has been updated, so she definitely takes into account any sort of mistakes or anyone that contacts her with questions. You will click on this download link, which will give you a PDF for the Leafy Baby Blanket pattern. It is one size. Obviously, I'd say that varies depending on what kind of yarn you use or if you choose to continue to repeat the pattern. It calls for 5mm or US 8 size needles. Stitch markers, I guess they're optional. I would personally use them if you're the type of person who zones out and could easily make a mistake. Although it is a great, easy pattern to use in, if you're just watching TV or something, you don't really have to think too hard about it. But the stitch markers are definitely helpful for the borders at least. Techniques include purls, yarn overs, knitting and purling 2 stitches together, slip stitches, and purling 2 together through the back loop. There are written and charted instructions. I'm personally more of a written instruction type of person, and contact information is at the bottom of the pattern. So it definitely is very beginner friendly. It doesn't really require knowledge. I mean, knitting 2 together and purling 2 together, slipping a stitch, or purling through the back loop, I don't really think those are too difficult of a technique to master if this is your first time using those techniques together. It's essentially knit from bottom up. There probably isn't much more detail to go into with this pattern. I thought it was pretty self-explanatory. Instructions were easy, clear, and concise. And I will talk about my experience with the yarn that I used, which was the Webb's Superwash DK in light blue. So it looks like this by Valley Yarns, the Valley Superwash DK. It comes in a ball. The weight, 50 grams for 137 yards. I did choose to go for a machine wash yarn because this was going to a home with new parents, with a new baby, and machine washing was definitely one of their priorities. It's very soft, and after I blocked it, it looked even amazing. It really didn't pill at all. And I actually did use this light blue color. It cost $6.99 for a 50-gram ball. When I purchased this yarn back in November of 2022, I needed 7. I needed 7 of these guys which cost me $39.14. So honestly, $40 for a baby blanket, not too bad. One thing to consider when you're looking or maybe even thinking about yarns is the yardage. The pattern calls for 900 to 1,000 yards, which is pretty accurate. It's not by weight, it's by yards in this case. So for each ball has 137 yards, and I bought seven, so that was 959 yards, which was enough to um, knit and according to the pattern instructions, and this is how much I was left with. So pretty accurate. I also didn't swatch before I started. I know it's really bad, but I mean it's a blanket, so it's not like you need an exact gauge unless you're really limited on yarn or you have a budget. But yeah, I should have, but I didn't, and it still came out fine. So up close, here's the yarn. Get this to focus. It's really soft. I would definitely use it again for something like this, especially because it's machine washable. They just don't come in very large quantities. So you're gonna have to buy a lot. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this review helped you maybe make a decision. And it's a very beginner friendly pattern. Even if you've never done any slip stitch work before, I think this is a good place to start. And I will see you next week. Thanks.